Introducing Zach Davis and Josh Anderson with the SoundMoney Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the SoundMoney Sound Podcast. Here today with Zach Davis. How are you, Zach?
I'm good, Josh. Hey, everybody.
Man, awesome to be with you today. We got a topic today. It kind of funnels along with last week's topic, but it's in a different vein, right? Last week, if you joined us last week, we talked about vendor relations, and we talked about how to be different and how to go out in the world and impress your vendors and do some activities with them that will make you stand out. This is similar, but a little different. In most businesses in the world, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a aspiring entrepreneur, or if you're in any type of a home-based business, you also have, in all business, you have teammates. Some people call them employees. We typically, that's not how we look at people. We look at people more as teammates. We're all trying to accomplish things in this world together, and it takes a lot of different skill sets to win in business. And I've yet to ever meet an accounting person and a marketing person that can do the same job. Right? They're uniquely different, but every business needs both. So I want to talk today about how we build relationships and how we develop leadership within and develop people within a team, within an organization and business, whether that's the accounting department, the marketing department, the shipping and receiving departments, whether that's the IT or software developers, or whether that's the sales force, right? In a lot of our companies, we have large sales forces. And I want to talk about what we've done in the last 25 years in business that we found to be the most successful things that we've done to build cohesiveness, to build team culture. And by the way, if you're not building a team culture, you're not ever going to win in business. If everybody's not on the same team, like you're not all on the same bus going in the same direction, you can't win. Like we've experienced from both directions, right? When everyone's not pulling on the rope, I like the analogy, if everybody's not pulling on the rope in the same direction, you can't accomplish anything, right? It just doesn't work. So when you can get everybody working in the same vein or in the same direction, right, you can win. And so, Zach, we're going to talk today a little bit about what we typically do in order to build a cohesive team, whether that's a sales team or employees or teammates, and two, how we go about putting people in situations that they're maybe not used to. So talk a little high level for a minute, Zach, about how important it is to create a team culture in your businesses.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a culture in your business no matter what. So my opinion is you may as well create the one that you want, because cultures exist everywhere. And you'll find out really quick who the actual leader is in the organization, because that's the culture that will ensue, right? If you have somebody on the team who is negative or nitpicky, well, it doesn't take very long for the rest of the team to get negative and nitpicky, and that's the culture that happens. So, one of the things that I think is the most important is you have to give to your team, right? You have to be willing to build them up and pour into them. One of the philosophies that we have in our businesses is, if somebody comes to us and says, hey, I have this other opportunity over here, I can make more money. It's a skill set that I've really wanted to learn. Well, in a lot of companies, you're going to get hammered about, you shouldn't go there. We've committed to you for so many years, and you're just going to leave us, yada, yada, yada. Our philosophy is, if you think there's something better out there for you, then you should go get it. And I believe as part of doing that, what ends up happening is we actually have people who probably could go get a better paying job, but they don't, because they like the environment at the company, because they know that they're going to get poured into and invested in. We just finished up not too long ago. Everybody was reading the same book together. Mm-hmm. And so everybody was thinking about the same thing and having the same conversations and talking about the same thing and trying to become better. So there's lots of different things that you can do to build that team camaraderie and that culture. But first and foremost, you have to decide what type of culture you want, and you have to model it, because you can go in and say, here's the culture we want, and here's the mission and vision. But if you're not modeling that culture, If you go in and say, hey, you know what? We have a no closed door policy. We want everyone to be accessible to everyone so that everyone can help everyone. And then you as the boss walk in, you close your door. Well, guess what message that sends everybody else? Oh, it's us and then there's them, right? Really isn't a team. So you have to model the culture that you're wanting as well.
And, we've been lucky enough to be around in ourselves hundreds of businesses. And then if you take in all of our friends' businesses, really thousands of businesses that we've been privileged to watch and be a part of. And if you don't identify what your culture is going to be and you don't model it, Zach, to your point, a negative, pervasive culture will almost always persist because human nature, by and large, is to be kind of like crabs in a pot. And whenever one person's being successful, to pull them back down. And so if you don't really strive, you don't really make it a conscious effort, I promise you, the most negative voice in the office or the most negative tones will come to the top because they're dominant. And so if you don't do this, if you don't make it a priority, you'll eventually have a culture in all offices or in all businesses that is negative in tone and us against them or them against us, right? It's human nature. So it's really important that you identify what you want, like Zach said, and then you model it. And it's not easy, right? It takes real work, but it makes all the difference. To illustrate that, Zach, kind of for us, one of the things that we do, and we realize a lot of people can't do this, but it illustrates the point. In one of our companies that we have a large sales force, every year we take the top 50 salespeople and we fly them in little airplanes from Boise, Idaho to Salmon, Idaho. Then we put them on a bus and we drive them 2 hours down a bumpy road. And then we put them on a jet boat and we jet boat them to our lodge at the Salmon River Lodge. If you've never seen that before, go look it up, right? Salmon River Lodge Resort. Maybe I'll pull up the website and just kind of show you the activities there so you kind of get an idea. But Zach, we could easily fly them into Salt Lake City, put them in a van, drive them up, fly them to Idaho Falls, drive the 4 hours. So let's start there. Like, why is it that our top 50, like most companies, if you're gonna take your top salespeople somewhere, they're really, I'm gonna just say they're lazy about this, right? They go, we're gonna take the top 50 employees, top 50 salespeople, we're going on a cruise, we're going to an all-inclusive resort. Now we do those things too, but that's not what this is. Why do we not take our top 50 salespeople every year on just an all-inclusive vacation to Cancun, Mexico, or Puerto Vallarta, right? Why do we take them and why do we first fly them into Boise and put them on little 6-seater airplanes and fly them over the mountains to Salmon and then put them on a bus for 2 hours down to the lodge and then put them on a jet boat to come to the lodge? Why do we do that?
Well, number one, if you take them to those other places, anybody can do that, right? You can have that experience with anybody. But most of the time, those are really posh and super comfortable. And it's really easy to get lazy. And it's really easy to just sit back and kind of enjoy it and then kind of take it for granted. Part of the reason that we take them where we take them and take them through that experience is because some of it's really rough. And some of it, I mean, you got people that fly in and they're scared to death to get in these little airplanes. And, and then some of them get sick and they might throw up and you get on that bumpy road in the hot bus and go down. Well, guess what? That part of the trip is not unbelievable.
No.
But when you get down to the lodge, after having that, like the lodge is unbelievable. So when you suffer together, you also grow together and it creates this bond. And everybody has this shared experience where they get to say, man, I was just about to throw up on that bus. It was super hot, Yeah, but then we got to this place and it was awesome. And we jumped in the water and they put us on these jet boats and, went over and they fed us. They were cooking bison on an open fire. It's like, it's an experience that they can't get anywhere else. But it also, one thing that I've learned over the years is when you get to be the person that introduces somebody to something very, very difficult that they're scared of, and you get to be the one to help walk them through it and show them that it's not that scary and that it's going to be okay, all of a sudden they trust you more. And you create that culture of you can overcome anything. And then they walk away going, man, I got lots of other things in my life that I can overcome, and their performance goes up. It's that magic.
it is magic, So for us, we take people down there. And by the way, you can do this in your local area, right? Like most people live where there's some adventurous things you can go try. And so we take all these people and their significant others, or they get to bring a guest, and we number one, the first day, we put them in a whitewater raft or in a kayak, and we go whitewater raft some 3 and 4 and 5 class rapids together. We got people flying out of the boat, right? Flying out of the boat here, flying out of the boat there. We got people, terrified. Typically, when we get in the van to go up the river, we got out of groups of 50, we might have 10 or 11 that are just absolutely terrified. They beg us not to even go, not even get in the boat. And we've yet to ever have someone get in the boat who's terrified that we almost make, right? We've always, without a doubt, everyone who's ever got in, when they get back out 5 hours later, they say, I can't believe I did that. That was the most amazing experience. Oh, what do you got queued up here, Zach?
I'll show you this example. I think this, I don't know. Yeah, see, woo, going through these rapids. Oh, look, kayak going right over the center of that rock.
Oh, phew. Good one.
But lots of these people, they have never been in a raft or a kayak before, ever.
Never.
Right? This is their first experience going through this on their own, and they're scared to death. And by the time they get done, they're like, that was unbelievable. That was amazing. See if I got any more here that I probably got a few.
Well, I don't even want to show this, but I'll show it in a minute.
We got one.
Embarrassing.
I was gonna say, do we have one you falling out?
Hey, why would we show that?
We should. I thought I had one here, somebody falling out. Oh, look, that's a good rapid. But this is their day one experience. There we go. When people come to the lodge, like this is day one.
Yeah, we want to give people want to give them a chance to get out of their element, right? Overcome a fear or two, right? Try and do something maybe they've never done before. One, like you said, so now we got a shared experience where forever, everyone in that raft or in that kayak, in that group that day, they have a shared experience of overcoming a fear. Because in most businesses, there are some things that people are not doing for you or not participating in the team because they're scared. And if they can figure out that I can overcome this, then they can do it, right? I mean, everything kind of changes for them. So we put them on purpose in a situation where they got to overcome some challenges, overcome some fears, do something a little different, and learn from it, right? And oftentimes, one of the things we love about whitewater rafting is that it gives them a chance to experience teamwork, as well, that they just don't get anywhere else, really, which to us is really invaluable in the world. I might have found the video. Oh, I will show this. I don't dare show it, but I'm going to show it. Because even sometimes this happens, Zach, and it even happens to us occasionally. All right. So this is a nice little rapid, right? We took some people in. I'm going to pause this real quick. How do I make that bigger, you think? Nope. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe I'll zoom in on it. Okay. This is a little rapid, right? And these people are all terrified in the boat. And I just told them that we hardly ever tip over in the boat, hardly ever go in the river. Oh, man, that was Jason Arfman. He just knocked 2 of our 50 best salesmen in the river right there, just like that. Poof, right in the river. Look, 3 of them just dangling out in the river, right? But that's pretty good. Let's see what this one has to offer here. I think this one might have somebody crashing too. These people were terrified that day. Got somebody riding the bull up there and coming to the same rapid. Boom, boom. Oh, right in the river. Right in the river. Bad day. And then they got nobody in the boat to take care of them. Bad deal. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to put people in situations where they got to try something new, do something different, especially if you're going to do, some leadership or team building activities. Zach, we also like to take people when we're there and we put them on horseback, right? How many people come out and see us that have never even rode a horse before and they're pretty terrified of it?
Oh yeah. By the time they're done, it's like they just want to go again and again and again and again, right? They see things that are uncomfortable, but they see other people do it, and there's like something inside of them is like, oh, I want to do that, I want to overcome it. And when you spend enough time with them and convince them that it's okay to do it, and then they find out that it's okay, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this world's not as scary as I thought it was, and they overcome those fears.
And I would say this, right? In business, whether you own your own business already, you have some teammates or employees, or whether you have a team of salespeople and you're working in a sales organization together, you got to find ways to have bonding experiences, shared experiences that are a little challenging, a little difficult, and get you out of your comfort zone. If you do that, two things happen. Number one, I always say this, that we go do those activities together for two purposes. One, for them to get to know us, right? For them to get to know who we are, what it is we're about, what it is we like. And if you're with somebody in a whitewater raft or on a horse, or maybe, going doing some winter activity, you really can't fake for 2 or 3 days a fake version of yourself. It just doesn't work, especially in those kind of situations. So if you really want to have your team get to know you, you do activities where they get to know you. But second, you really want to get to know them. You want to put your salespeople or your marketers, or you want to put your accounting department, you want to put them in situations where you're going to test their muster a little. You're going to find out who they really are, because they can't also, over a 2-day period or 3-day period of doing adventurous activities, they can't fake it for 2 or 3 days. You're going to put them in situations that are going to be high stress, where you're going to get to see, in something that doesn't cost you dollars and cents, who they really are. And we find this all the time. We find out, man, we got a teammate that really isn't got the skill set that we thought they did, and they really might not be meant for this bus, because when the going gets tough, they're going to fold and quit on us, and they're not going to keep rowing the boat. They're going to freak out and get scared. You want to know that before, but you also find out, hey, we maybe aren't asking the most out of this person. This person, when times get really tough, they pick up their teammates, or they do the activity that's really challenging, and they're not afraid, and they overcome their fear. We need to give them more responsibility or work with them more. And so for us, it's a two-way street. They get to know us, but we really get to know them. Agree or disagree, Zach?
Yeah, no, 100%. And oftentimes you're trying to get employees to perform at their peak level, but sometimes they don't know that they have a certain skill set, or they don't know that they're really capable of something, because either a previous boss or other life's experiences have taught them that they aren't good enough. And so then when you ask them to step up and you give them a really hard challenge at work and say, hey, this is what the challenge that we're trying to overcome, they don't step up to the challenge. But when you take them to places like this and you do things, what you're really doing is you're helping them stack wins on top of wins, and you're helping them gain confidence. For example, there's one, we oftentimes will take people for a hike. You can go up behind the lodge, and it's equivalent of about 89 flights of stairs that you climb up. It's about 2 miles. You can watch the sun come up, right? And if you hurry, come back down to the lodge, because this canyon's so steep, you get 2 sunrises. You can watch it up there, you get back down, you watch it come up over again over the river. It's really cool. But there's been lots of years where we'll get people that are like, oh, I'm just going to go on part of the hike with you, but I'm not going to go all the way to the top. And you get going, and they start to think, yeah, I can't go any farther. But as you work with them and you're like, no, come on, you're going to make it. Look, we're just going right there. And they take one step after another. Pretty quickly to get to the top, what happens is they go, I didn't think I could get up here. Well, how does that translate back to work? You just asked them to do something really hard. And now what you get to say is, hey, you didn't think you could get here, but you did. You solved the problem. Okay, we got a challenge at work that you don't think you know how to solve. You do. Just go chew on it one step at a time, and you'll see the sunrise, right? It's like you give them those wins so they build that self-confidence, so that when they go back to work, that translates over and they go, yeah, I really can do hard things, and I can solve challenges and problems even more so than what I thought I was capable of.
One of the things I love there, Zach, is we probably have a lot of listeners who have a normal job, right? And their boss or their supervisor is planning some activity, some get together to do something, and they're thinking in their mind, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. It's out of my comfort zone, or I don't want to do it. I'm here to tell you, if a supervisor or a boss is taking the time to put together some activity for the team, no matter how terrified or how scared or how much you don't want to be embarrassed, because you might, it can be bowling, and you're like, I suck at bowling. I get good at balls 8 out of 10 times. I am not going to let them make fun of me. Don't ever sit on the sideline. Don't you dare ever sit on the sideline. There's a game being played at every moment in business, and it's being played on the grass. It's not being played in the stands. And you got to get out there on the grass. Okay. There are plenty of people sitting in the stands. You got to get out on the grass, and you got to put yourself in situations. And I'm here to tell you, if your boss, if your supervisor, if you're the owner of your company, put something together in any form or fashion, you participate. And if you're terrified and you're like, I can't do this, you just say, I'm terrified, but I'm going to do it. And guess what? Somebody's going to help you. And you're going to learn, and they're going to learn, and you're going to bond. So don't ever, we have this, right? We watch this. We have teammates who sit on the sideline. And you and I, we immediately start saying, they're probably not going to be with us in a year. When the hard things come or the chat, they're probably not going to be here. And that's okay. Yeah. But we judge it and we expect it. So if you're one of them people, get out there and play the game.
Yeah, it's the man in the arena that wins, right? There's plenty of people that are sitting in the grandstands, and there's plenty of open seats. So you really need to be the one out playing the game, right? That's how you're going to win in life. And that's how you're going to get places. And that's how you're going to impress people. It's how you're going to build relationships. Like, it would just serve you well to get out there and play the game. Even if, like, say, you are scared. Doesn't matter. Somebody else is probably scared too. And they're doing it.
They're doing it. And I would just say this, right? From the flip side, if you're a manager, a supervisor, if you're an owner of a business, if you have a little sales team in something you're doing in the world, find an activity to gather your team together and go do. And it can be anything, but find an activity on a pretty regular basis and go do it together. Because it will make all the difference in making sure everybody's in the right seat on the bus and going in the right direction together and trying to win. And, we recently asked this. We have a couple business buddies who, two examples, right? We have a company that used to do a lot of marketing things for us. And some years ago, they asked me and you on a golf course, kind of a secret to success of why our culture was so good at all of our companies. And I said, well, we take them and we go put them in these situations, right? Well, they started doing it. It's now been more than a decade, and they go every August. They're probably there pretty close to now, but they'll flat tell you the best thing they ever did for their business. They rent a little cabin, hour outside of town. They rent some equipment, 4-wheelers and side-by-sides. They go up and they have an adventure on those. They rent some horses and they ride them, and then they play some cornhole and horseshoes, right? For 2 nights. The whole company goes. They say it's the best thing they ever did. We have another friend who, he asks the same question. You guys seem to have the best cultures in your company. And he has a company of all men, right? There's electrical business. And he's like, how do you guys build these cultures? And take them to do some activities where you put them in some unique situations. He now takes them once a year and they go do some activities together that are, outside of work. Makes all the difference. And people always ask us how we have these cultures, and it's not by accident. You have to set the culture, determine it, model it, and then you got to put all the teammates in a few situations that are a little bit outside of the box, a little scary for them. So, Zach, I'll let you have the last word today of secrets to these successes and why we're so adamant about them.
Yeah, and when you go do these things, even for you that are the bosses, you got to participate too. Mm-hmm. And you'll go to these different events and you'll see the people that own the companies, and they're kind of sitting off over in the corner having conversations while everybody else is doing the thing. You have to get involved. Like at one of our recent events, someone actually said, I couldn't tell who owned the company versus who was an invited guest. Well, guess what? Most people would be like, oh, well, I want people to know that I own this thing, right? I want people to know who I am and how cool I am. Well, if that's the culture you want, that the pompous, arrogant, egotistical, most people don't like people like that. That's the culture you're going to get with that behavior. But if you want people to trust you and work with you, you got to be with them as well, right? You got to serve them, and you got to pick up their plate and throw it in the garbage and bring them a soda and all those kind of things. So it's reciprocal. So don't be afraid to do those things for people.
And by the way, if you're like, oh my goodness, Zach, I don't have a freaking Salmon River Lodge. I don't have this cool place. Guess what? Everybody has somebody that'll rent some paintball guns in your town, let you shoot up your employees, your buddies. Everybody's got a water park. Yeah, we used to take people, all our employees would do that. Everybody's got some water park that's got some scary water slide within an hour or two drive of your house, right? That you can go get on the water slide. Everybody's got some river, some hike, some waterfall to go see. Everybody's got some something, right? For not a lot of money that you can go do, and that you can put people in situations that you can have some fun together. And I mean, one of our companies, even as simple as, we got a big barbecue and riding jet skis on a river and paddleboards coming up, I think the next couple of days.
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. So the point is
pickleball, like that's gotten really big, right? It's like, go rent a pickleball court. It's not very much money, but actually make it a competition, have a tournament.
Draw some players.
Make people get competitive and
see
what personalities come out.
Zach, we got a business partner. He and his wife are 84 and 82. A couple years ago, we take these top salespeople and we're playing, and we pit them in a cornhole tournament every year, right? Together, draw names. 82 years old. Got so excited a few years ago about getting whooped in cornhole. She watches it on TV, buys special bags, and practices all year. And this 82-year-old lady put like 7 teams out in the cornhole tournament with our top salespeople this last couple weeks ago. And it's really refreshing when people are like, oh my goodness, one of the owners' wives of this company wants to destroy me, and she's 82 years old in cornhole. Okay. But it builds relationships like never before. She was playing with an awesome lady from Canada, a top sales lady from Canada in our company. You never seen 2 happier ladies than to whoop some of our top salespeople in cornhole as these 2 ladies. It was awesome.
But it's fun to watch.
Point, it ain't difficult. It doesn't cost lots of money. It's gonna be but that's how you find out how you get to know them and they get to know you, and you get to figure out a way to conquer the world together because you have some shared experiences. And these aren't hard things, right? But people often ask us, like, we get asked this all the time, Zach, why do you guys win? It's a simple question, but it's nonstop. Why do you win? It's because these things matter. Selling the products, providing the service, those are all things that you have to do to make money. But the way you really win, where people want to be with you, people want to be a part of you, is you build relationships. And you do it not when you're selling the widget. You do it in these type of moments, building a relationship. Last word, Zach, you got it. We're going to let the listeners go today.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not a sales pitch, right? When you're going to doing those things, it's not an opportunity to get somebody up on the mountain on, a motorcycle or whatever, and then pulling over and being like, hey, let's get a deal done. No. Oftentimes when business comes up, usually what we do is we defer and we say, you know what? Let's talk about that in a while. There'll be time to have that conversation. Right now, let's just have fun, right? There's a time. Don't take them up there and wheel and deal. Take them out there, build the relationship, and then do the wheeling and dealing later. And it's a whole lot better, right? And same with, it's not the time and place to go criticize the employees. It's not the time and place for correction. That's the time and place to go build a relationship, have fun with them, get to know them, and then you have a little bit of collateral later to have those hard conversations about things that might be going on. So give it a try. Take your employees out and let them do fun things, have them do scary things, and you'll find out who's on the team.
Exactly, Zach. It's been awesome to be with the listeners today, and we can't wait to see you next week on the Sound Money, Sound Principles podcast. You guys are absolutely awesome, and if there's something that you'd like to know about, drop us a line. Right? This came because some people are asking how do you actually build relationships with your sales team, and we said, oh, that's easy. That's easy. We can share about that. So you guys have a great day. Appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you next time on the Sound Money, Sound Principles podcast. Adios.
See you, everybody.